Badass 45's campaign has spent months trying to portray Biden as senile, and this might be a terrible mistake on their part. Badass 45 has made it very clear of what he thinks about Joe Biden and his speeches. Joe Biden is barely coherent, a dumb guy who doesn't know where the hell he is. That's technically 45 describing himself. Um, in an online advertising, the Fat Ass 45 campaign has repeatedly alleged that Biden is too old and out of it to be president, which is technically Fat Ass 45. Fat Ass 45 is too old and not even there. Um, During a Tuesday appearance on Foe, Fat Ass 45 nutlicker Rudy Dumbass Giuliani excitedly shared his theory that Biden has dementia and will get through the debate thanks to drugs. That's technically Fat Ass 45. Um, Badass 45 has dementia and has been known to use drugs. Um, Meanwhile, some Badass 45 allies are currently busying themselves by pushing a conspiracy theory about Biden using an earpiece during the debate, a conspiracy theory that first originated in 2000, and it resurfaced in 2004 during a debate between George W. Bush and John Kerry before being wielded against Hillary Clinton back in 2016. To be clear, there's absolutely no evidence for any of this. But the play seems clear. If Biden trips up during the debate, he's a dumb guy. Well, we already know Fat Ass 45 is dumb. If he seems competent, it's because he had help. But by aggressively pushing the image of a 77-year-old Biden as a senile old man, the Fat Ass 45 campaign has unintentionally lowered the bar and made it easier for the Democratic candidate to succeed. Um, and rather than focus on his policy successes, which Fat Ass 45 doesn't have any, or even on the major challenges facing the country, from the coronavirus pandemic to the economic disaster that's hurting so many American families, Fat Ass 45 would rather discuss fake earpieces than drug tests. Fat Ass 45 allies' accusations of drug use and earpieces in the run-up to Tuesday's debate have proven to be part of a series of endless distractions that Biden won't even debate. Demand drug tests, check for hidden earpieces, yell about how one candidate may have forgotten the questions ahead of time, which is untrue, and it's intended to heighten the tension and drama. This isn't new for Fat Ass 45. In 2016, he demanded Hillary Clinton be drug tested before the last debate as part of an all-out assault on her health because at the beginning of her last debate, she was all pumped up at the beginning, and at the end it was like, Huff, take me down. She could barely reach her car. That's what he was trying to claim, but, you know. But these are tactics straight from pro wrestling where it's common to summon up distractions to heighten the tension before a match. They remain markedly effective, seeping from conspiracy theory focused corners of the intent, from QAnon adherents to Facebook pages for conservatives to mainstream outlets that do their best to debunk them all. But by doing so, it also gives them more attention, a technique known as trading up the chain. The challenge for Fat Ass 45 in his campaign, though, isn't successfully spreading rumors. It's that based on Fat Ass 45's rhetoric, Biden will be a success if he simply shows up and seems fully lucid. This is a problem that Fat Ass 45's campaign manager, Bill Stipien, and Fat Ass 45 campaign communications director Tim Murtaugh seemed to note a few weeks ago when the two began publicly praising Biden's debate skills. Murtaugh previously had argued that Biden had declined cognitively. That's what I said about Fat Ass 45. Fat Ass 45 has declined. As HotAir.com's Ala Pundit wrote earlier this month, the GOP had spent months inexplicably lowering the bar for Biden until it rested flat on the ground until Stepien stepped in. Until recently, the Fat Ass 45's campaign line on Joe Biden was that he was in late-stage mental decline, and would probably duck the debates altogether to avoid revealing that to the world. We're now 18 days away, and someone, probably Stipien, finally figured out that reducing expectations for Biden to the point that he only needs to speak in complete sentences to prove he's fit for office was a bad idea. Former White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer told Politico, "This idea of Biden not knowing how to debate is ridiculous. The more that expectations are lower for him, the worse." It's more typical for a candidate or a campaign to play up the debating skills of their opponent rather than argue in ads, as the Fat Ass 45 campaign did, and that the opposition has lost their touch. Fat Ass 45 doesn't seem to be preparing for a debate victory, but instead he's readying himself and his allies to explain a humiliating loss. In the style of a college football coach, Biden won't have really won. They'll argue he'll have had help, but the real problem with this entire discussion is that it's not just a distraction for the candidates, it's also a distraction from the issues that Americans are most concerned about: the coronavirus pandemic and the resulting economic tumult. Early on Tuesday, Disney had announced 28,000 layoffs, and those are 28,000 workers who have just lost their jobs, while future stimulus payments remain largely hypothetical. So sure, Fat Ass 45, Biden is senile and using performance-enhancing substances rhetoric is problematic because it's both false and harmful to perceptions of his own debate performance. But it's also problematic because it focuses on a very online atmosphere, and it leads the real and it alludes to real problems Americans are facing. Problems that you might recall he declared he'd alone could fix it, which he won't be able to. But yeah. So if you like the video, give the video a like and subscribe to my channel, Random Mike, and also hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when a new video comes out. And thanks for listening.